Alright guys, what's going on? I'm here with Jacob Shapiro. He's the community manager of Outpost-club. And Outpost-club is a company here in New York that does co-living. And today we want to talk about, like for those of you who wrote the article that I wrote yesterday, we want to talk about tiny houses and just new living alternatives that are popping up. So yeah, if you like this stream, please give it a like so other people can find it. And leave a comment at any time when the stream is ended as well, with all your tiny house and co-living questions. And yeah, so for those of you who don't know tiny houses, they're like little wooden cabins on wheels, basically. I used to build them in Belgium last year. And yeah, Jacob, why don't you explain to us what co-housing is?
Yeah, so in comparison to tiny houses, co-living is a shared housing model where members share kitchens, living rooms, bathrooms, co-working spaces, and sometimes even bedrooms. What's nice about it is that you get a lot more space for the amount of money that you would pay for your normal rent price, right. And they're all inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, so we want to sketch the situation a little bit more. Like we're generation, I think you're generation Y, right?
Yep.
I'm generation Z, and what's really a trend right now is that a lot of young people travel back to the city or want to move back to the city. But then housing prices are ridiculous. So we're talking like in Brooklyn, New York here, the retail prices went up with 100% in the last 20 years, which is just incredible. So yeah, we need to find new ways to afford that. And also like younger people are not really appealing, or they don't find it appealing to have a loan for the next 30 years to just have their own house. It's just not a dream anymore.
In addition to that, big thing is that we're all very mobile. Did you mention that? We're all very mobile.
I didn't.
People of our generation don't like to be tied down. It's kind of tied into the idea of not having a large mortgage, but we're a generation of people who wants to move constantly, and that leads us to be very asset light. Meaning me personally, I only have one suitcase, one big backpack, and one small backpack, and my entire life fits into all of those things. And that allows me to travel around a lot, and a lot of people are the same way. So,
Also, I want to just say, if you like the stream or you know people that would like the stream, please share this with your friends and family so that other people can join in as well. Again, if you have any questions about tiny houses or co-living, we would love to hear them and answer them here for you. So yeah, what should we do next? Like I wrote down a few questions that we can both answer. You want to start with that?
Sure. You're saying that we could both answer.
Right, sure. Right.
So, first, we've already explained what co-living is.
Right.
But who are the biggest co-living members in the market? So, that is at least in New York City. At the moment, there are probably 7 or 8, maybe 9 members or 9 companies who are doing co-living in New York City. Right. However, some of them are very small, some of them are much larger. And the much larger players specifically are WeLive and Common. Mm-hmm. WeLive is a part of WeWork, and is a branch off of that company's initial product, which was co-working spaces. Mm-hmm. And Common is another larger player that is in New York City as well. Another big one would be Founder House as well. They are, just another company doing the same thing. All these companies have around between 2 and 6, maybe 7 or 8 locations, and our company, Outpost-club, who we are doing the stream with today, has around 4 locations. Currently 4 locations.
Do you have a clue on when this started? Like, is this a thing that's always been going on? Like, I guess the question is like dorm rooms and co-living. Like, where do you draw the line?
Right. Very good question. I think that's a big distinction that we like to make. Everyone likes to attribute co-living to the nearest housing model where there is shared living space that they know of. So we'll explain to someone like, oh, it's a hostel, or oh, it's a dorm. And really, no, in reality, it's not any of those things. When you move into a co-living space, you move into a home versus like a hostel or a dorm. You're not really living in a home. You're living in a place that has an exact purpose. And here, your purpose is to be in a space that you feel at home. However, you share that space with many other people. Mm-hmm. You can have your own room. You can decide to also share a room depending on your price point. But yeah, it's all over the map, and everyone does it differently. But yeah, it's definitely than dorms and Hostels.
And then when did Outpost Club start? Is that
Outpost Club started in 2016, so at the beginning of 2016. So we've been in operation for about a year and a half now. We started off at the location in Flatbush, Brooklyn, and have since expanded to 3 other locations. And currently we are broadcasting from our newest location in Ridgewood, Queens. It has 14 bedrooms and will house around 20 to 25 members.
Yeah, that's another question I have, like how many people are in one house? So there are 4 different locations, right? What's like, where does it vary between?
Yeah, so everything between this upper end of about 25 people down to about 11 people. The first location we have, Flatbush, has 11 people, and then the other locations are somewhere between 11 and 15 people.
Also, just a quick reminder, I would love to know if you're watching for tiny houses or co-housing or co-living. Give it a hard face if you're watching because of tiny houses, and give it a wow face if you're watching for co-living. That would be great, so we can adjust the stream towards that. And yeah, so that's great. Like, so between 10 and 24 is the max one.
Yeah, between 10 and 24 is
that's great.
And that allows people, maybe some people don't want to live in a house with as many as 25 people. However, we do break it down so that you don't feel like you're surrounded by 25 other members. Right. But if you're not looking for that, you can have the option of staying in a place with less members.
Like we're here in the Ridgewood location, right? And this is like a 3-floor basically house, and we split that with 24. So it's really not, you never really intrude on each other, I should say. We have another question here. It's what's the average age of people?
I'll expand that question and say, what's the average person who is in a co-living space here? So, in terms of age, it's all over the map. We have everyone from age 19 all the way up to about 35. We've had older members as well, but that's the general age. In terms of like students and professionals, it's about split right down the middle. We have about half students, half professionals who are already in the field. Within the professions, it's really all over the map. We have members who are in film, we have members who do software design, app development, we have fashion designers, interior designers, members who are cooks and chefs, and really all over the place. And last thing is national versus international. So we have about half of our members are Americans, and the other half are coming international.
Do you know of any other cities outside New York that also are really into the co-living? The biggest cities that have co-living, generally speaking, have the highest rent prices. Right. So this is a good way to combat living in a really high rent area. So generally speaking, New York, LA, Miami, and then abroad. I'd say London is a big one, right. As well as many places in Germany as well. But generally speaking, mega cities, anywhere where there's really high rent prices. Also, like to sketch the situation here, specifically in New York, even more, is that in Manhattan you pay easily $2,500 for like a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment, which is just ridiculous. And then you have the credit checks as well, which they ask for your income to be 20 times as high as the rent you're paying. So that's a real problem. And then these are like the tiny houses we're talking about today, and the co-living spaces are alternatives that are popping up to solve this problem. Like, would you go into pricing, like where does it vary between, so that people know?
Yep, it can be anything between like around $750 a month to about $1,500 to $1,600 a month. And that depends on your length of stay, it depends on the size of the room you get, how many people share the room, if you get a single room, the season in which you come, and all those types of factors. What's really, what needs to be mentioned with that price is that generally when you sign up for, or when you sign a lease and you pay a monthly rate of rent, you're just paying the rent. You're not paying the utilities, you're not paying the cleaning services, you're not paying your Wi-Fi, any of those things. And with us, everything is included. So if you are paying $1,000 like you would a normal studio apartment, here you would get a shared room, but you would have an immense amount of space, much more room than you would in a normal New York apartment plus it's all inclusive. So that rent would include your Wi-Fi, your utilities, cleaning services, and things of that nature.
And then you also have the choice to choose between different kinds of rooms, right? So you have the single rooms, like if you want your own private space, those are a little bit more expensive, of course. And then they have the 5-person room, which is of course cheaper.
Yeah, so you can stay in everything between a single room and a 5-person room.
Right.
And it's also important to mention that all of these spaces are move-in ready, meaning that literally all you need to do is show up with a suitcase. An additional cost that comes with moving into a new place or a new apartment is buying your bed and buying your furniture and buying your TV and all the things that you would need upon moving into a new house. And this really allows you to just show up with your suitcase and we have everything for you. I mean, even shampoo and body wash are continually restocked, so you don't even need to bring that. There's a pillow for your head to sleep on.
Yeah. And then why did you get into co-housing? Like what sparked you to go that way?
Yeah, good question. I think I just was fed up with the current housing model that exists in the United States, or really anywhere. Traditionally speaking, getting an apartment is a one-time-a-year type of thing, and it's a terrible consumer process. It's the largest consumer expense that you have on a yearly basis, and it's the worst consumer experience. Yeah, and so here, what we try to do is fix that, and so not only working for, but also living in a co-living space has allowed me to realize, like, oh wow, like this is a huge problem that we're solving. So I really do enjoy solving that problem. And that's why I kind of did it.
Yeah, for me, I would say that I'm from Belgium, and all I'm doing is trying to figure out how to move to New York. And it's just great that because I don't have family here, I don't have a lot of friends because it's like the first few months, right? And it's just great to have conversations with other people. It's also great to see the mix between international and national people. So yeah, that's just why I love it. And also, like, if you're lost in some kind of thing or you don't know where to get a certain item, you can ask people, stuff like that. It's really fun. Yeah. And you never have this feeling that you're alone, because in New York can be very overwhelming, as do other cities. So it's always fun to have different people around you.
Yeah. Imagine moving to a new city and not knowing anyone, and then moving into an apartment where either one, you share it with some random roommates, or a single place where it's just you. Like, the process of becoming and being exposed to new people is very tough, and this kind of takes that out of it as well. Right. So yeah, it's something I felt upon moving in as well. I mean, I've got 40 new friends that I get to see on a continual basis, and it's really enjoyable.
It is. So there's another question here. Like on your side, you say you need to become a member to join the spaces. Like, what does this mean? Like, does it mean that you pay during the whole year, or you can choose how long you can stay and pay for that, or what does it mean? Yeah,
membership is basically our way of saying signing a lease. So your membership is more inclusive than a general lease. Like I said, it includes all those other things, and being a member just comes along with all the amenities of a location plus the group of people that you would be living with. Right. Being a member just means living in the space. You can live for as long as you'd like, or as short as a month. So the shortest length of stay is a month, and that is that's when you become a member.
Yeah, and it's also fun that there are a lot of different people here that stay. Or there are people that stay for a month. There are people that stay for 6 months. It's nice to have that mix. So there are people that are already here for a while, and they can help you out, and then other people are still figuring it out as well, so you can ask them for help, like, what are you doing, what steps are you taking? So that's really fun too.
What's nice is that, like, if you think about moving to a new place and then being like, wow, I really want to find the nearest laundromat, or I just need to know the best Chinese food place, or, I like tacos a lot, I want to find the best taco place. Here you have that ability, and, if you were to move in an apartment with, 2 random strangers, or just on your own, you really wouldn't get that, that feel.
Yeah, that's true. And do you think that other companies that are doing co-living, do they take it the same way? Like, do they have the same range of people between like 10 and 24, or do they have bigger locations, or is this kind of mostly how it works?
I'd say at the moment it's probably around the same demographics that we have. However, there are very many different types of co-living. So, I mean, if you think about it, like senior homes are a form of co-living, and their demographics are mostly, between the ages of 65 and above. So, it just depends on the type of co-living environment that you're in. For the purposes of kind of this, I see it as co-living is something that existed a long time ago in the form of boarding houses when people move to a new city and basically live in these things called boarding houses. Usually only one gender would live there. And they would provide everything, in the all-inclusive model, as well as sometimes even food. And what's nice is that that unfortunately faded out. It had its own problems, but it has been revived as this model. So and in its newer form, it is kind of gone for the same crowd. It accommodates for younger people looking to move to a new city, don't know anyone, don't know how to navigate the apartment searching process,
Also, a quick reminder, if you like the stream, please give it a like and share it with friends and family so that other people can find the stream too. There you go, that's what I'm talking about. Do you have any other questions you want to talk about? One thing I'm thinking about, what does the future of Outpost look like? What's their plan?
Yeah, our plan is to not only do this in New York City. We'd like to be in every major city around the world. That would be great if we could provide members with the ability to live here and then be like, I need to move to London, and I don't know anything about apartment searching in London. Can you help me out? And we'll be like, well, we actually have a location there, and you would expect the same service that you do at this one, and so basically, it's always it can always be a sketchy process to move to a new city. So if we could remove that from the apartment searching process, that would be really great. That would be the coolest thing for us. And co-living generally, the next 20 years, I think we need to look at the last 100 years of apartment searching and the process of finding and living in apartments to see what it's going to look like in the next 20 years. So in the past, real estate developers couldn't do. They're good at one thing. They can build very big buildings. They know the square footage that it's going to cost them per square foot, and they outsource everything else. They do their sales process through their real estate agents to interact with their current members. They outsource that to property managers, and really just build the building and collect the cash. And the problem with that is that it's very disconnected. If you've ever lived in an apartment and something's broken, it's kind of an annoying process to get sometimes can be an annoying process to get someone to come and fix what's wrong with your house. While here, you have access to the people who are managing the property immediately. And for the next 20 years looking into the future, I think it's going to be really tough for the old insular development companies that have really got an easy way out, and with the advent of things like Airbnb and co-living companies and tiny houses and other alternative modes of living, they're going to have a really tough time competing in the future.
Yeah, and on top of that, I also really think that young people are looking for a different experience. Buying a house is very painful because it's so expensive these days. Renting a place, if you come to a new city, it's just not fun. I mean, you don't know anyone, you're just there alone. You need to furnish the whole thing. There's no one there. I mean, that's the biggest part for why I'm doing it. Yeah.
So I got some questions for you, if you don't mind me asking. Let me go ahead and find them.
I don't know if they're on here.
Oh yeah, I wrote them down here. Yes.
Oh, you did?
Yes. The first one is, how have you liked your stay here at Outpost?
Right. So I've been here for 2.5 months. It's something like that, right? And I told them in the beginning of my stay that I want to be in a different neighborhood every month, just because if I move here in the long term, I want to know the different neighborhoods. And they took that to their heart, and I've been moving around every month, which has been fun. So I've stayed in the Bedford-Stuyvesant house. If you go to their website, outpost-club
outpost-club.com.
Right, right. I write that in the comments real quick so you can check it out. So if you look at their website, you can see that they have 4 locations. And I stayed at 3 of them. So one of them was the Bedford-Stuyvesant house, which is, how do you call it on the website? I think it's the Bedford.
Yeah, it's referred to as the Bedford.
The Bedford house, right. That was a really nice place. And then the second one was the Knickerbocker house, which is in Bushwick, Brooklyn as well. And that neighborhood is like a very artist kind of...
Lots of graffiti.
Yeah, lots of graffiti.
It's actually where, I don't know if you know this, but it's where like art schools that are teaching graffiti or teaching graffiti history classes, they'll go to that neighborhood to see their classes. So it's a really cool neighborhood.
Yeah, I didn't know that. But that was my favorite location just because it's like close to the trains and you have that artist vibe there. So it was really fun. That's the second one. And the third one is the Richmond house now, which is where we are currently. Right, which is in Queens. It's a little further than the Bushwick one, but it's pretty close to me, so 15-minute walk. So yeah, I would say that's been very interesting to see these different neighborhoods. You meet a lot of people. That's the main thing. Yeah, that's been fun for me. So it's been good.
Yeah, I guess. Do you think you have, or could you explain a best moment that you had with us at Outpost Club, or moments that you have at Outpost Club?
I like the random moments because every house has a Facebook group where everyone joins, so like most people join in. And then people are like, hey, there's a concert in Central Park going on at 8 p.m. tonight. Who wants to come? And then we go together, and that's been really fun. Like we went to a Yankees game too. It was a week ago.
An impromptu Yankee game.
Yeah, I was in a meeting, and it's like, hey, dude, you want to come to a Yankee game? And I went. So that's been really fun. That's like stuff you would never do on your own. Exactly. That's pretty cool.
I'd say the same thing. It's like it's so cool that if I was living alone in New York City, sure I have some friends here, but we're not as motivated to like quickly meet up and do something as a spontaneous event. And with like a bunch of members who are not living here for a long time and they really want to get their time in New York City, like they want it to be great. That kind of enthusiasm allows for these kind of really cool spontaneous moments. I'd also say just generally like hanging out at the house around like 9 p.m. at night. Everyone, a decent amount of people would be at home, just hanging out around the table, and like, what else would I be doing at 9 p.m. at night on a Thursday night? I'd probably be watching Netflix by myself. And so having the ability to just kind of interact with some new people and have a good time is really, really fun. So,
Also, one more thing I would add to that for me is that English is not my native language, so living with other people forces you to make conversation.
Very good point.
And it improved my English for like, I would say 20%. That's been really cool as well. Oh, we have a really long message here.
I think it's about tiny houses.
It is, okay. So what I would suggest is that if there are any questions about co-living, you can ask them now, as long as Jacob's here, and then maybe I can do the tiny house questions on my own. You can do something else.
Sounds good.
I'm going to give you guys a little time to write some questions about co-living. Also, if you like the stream, please like it and share it with friends and family. You can also ask questions after the stream is ended, and we will make sure to answer those too.
I have 2 extra questions for you. First is, will you be coming back? Will you, if you return to the United States, or most particularly New York City at the moment, will you be coming back to Outpost?
Yeah, I sure will, because I also like that being an entrepreneur myself. The people that are working here are really driven, and they're really young as well. Like, they started a year and a bit ago. So it's really fun to be around and to see their development and stuff like that. So I sure will do that.
Cool.
Yeah. And like, even if I go to other parts of the world, I will always look for co-housing spaces. Right. Just like before this, I used hostels, but the difference is that hostels, people stay for a few days or a few weeks in the best case, but you don't have that deep that connection with them, just because it's such a short amount of time, right? And they're also almost all of them are international. It's just something I noticed.
And that's something. It's kind of nice. As someone who's American, like, I don't want to just interact with Americans on a daily basis all the time. It's nice to step outside that realm. And as I'm assuming, speaking on your behalf, as someone who's coming to the United States, you want to hang out with Americans. And so it's nice to have that two-way interaction that I think both sides are looking for, but don't really know how to achieve, and this is the way to achieve it.
Yeah, it is for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think we can close off the co-living part of the stream here.
Yeah, I'll just say if you're interested in finding out more about Outpost Club, you can find the link. It is in the comments, and it's outpost-club.com. And you can, if you'd like to live with us, you can apply right from there.
Mm-hmm. You can also find them on Facebook and Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And is there anything else?
That would be it.
Okay, that would be it. So
I'm gonna hop out.
Yeah, thanks for joining
no
the stream here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Cool. I'm gonna have to move the table here a little bit because the sun keeps moving into the screen. Okay. So yeah, now we can move to tiny house questions. I have one here. It says, "What's the max weight of a tiny house in America?" I know it depends on the state you live in, but I've seen American tiny houses that weigh 1,900 pounds. Are they still very easy to transport? Is it legal to transport them? This is incredible when you compare it to 3.5 kilo limit. Yes, that's indeed interesting. That was the biggest challenge in having a tiny house company in Europe, is that the regulations are very different. So indeed in Belgium for sure, like there could be other countries in Europe that's different, but I know that Belgium and France and Germany and the Netherlands are the same, and they all say it's 3.5 kilos, 3.5 tons, sorry about that. And here in America you can go way higher. So without a special permit you can go to 4.5 tons, metric tons that is, and with a permit you can go even higher. So in September I went to California Tiny House. I'll link their website in the comments. California tinyhouse.com, I think yes. Let me know if it works. And they build like very heavy duty houses, which is just incredible to see. Like also in Belgium it is possible to go higher than that, and there are also ways to legally transport them. The problem with that is that they're way more expensive to transport, so you're gonna need a company to do it for you. It's also possible that they would need to put it on another trailer, which means that you need to make your house lower than the max altitude you can get, or the max height you can build. So there's always that. Now, for those of you who don't know what I have to do with tiny houses, in 2016, 2015, it's about 2.5 years ago, I built a tiny house in California, and this is because I love the United States. I was been here before, and I wanted to stay here for a longer amount of time, but because I was so young back then, I needed to find a way to stay here and not break the bank. So I found people in Holland that have a second home in California. It's in Mount Shasta. You can look it up on Google Maps. It's a beautiful area. It's in nature, nothing there. And yeah, they basically offered me to build, I would build a tiny house for them and I could stay with them for 3 months. So that's what I did. And I'd never done it before, but I felt like, yeah, let's try it out. Like I have a carpentry background, so I've been building furniture and sheds and whatever, barns and stuff with my cousin since I was 9 years old. So I could do that, and yeah, then it expanded to bigger structures and then eventually to tiny houses. And then I came back from California after those 3 months, and I tried university for a while, like 4 months, but then I realized that it's not for me. So I decided to quit university. I was doing criminology, so something totally different than carpentry or anything else I'd done before that. So yeah, I decided to make a switch and stop in January. This is January 2016. And then I started my tiny house company. It's called Tiny House Belgium. It still exists. I'll link the website in the comments. Yeah, then I decided to start, and that was very interesting. It's been a journey, I should say. So I've done it since January 2016, and then about till September. And in September, I visited California Tiny House, and that's where I realized, maybe it's not the tiny house part that I liked about my California travel, but it's the United States itself, which I kind of knew before that, but sometimes you just lose track of what you're actually doing in life. So it's in September, after that trip, that I started making arrangements to make my dream of moving here possible. So one of those things was that I was building my own tiny house, and I sold that to the guys that are taking over my company now. This is Arno Guns, for those of you who want to know. And yeah, they're still continuing it. So January 2017 is when I officially stopped with Tiny House Belgium. And I've been trying to move here ever since. So in January I was here for a month, and then now I've been here since the 5th of April, and it has been very fun. It has been very fun. Like, if you have any more questions about tiny houses, I would love to know. And give this video a like and share it with friends and family so that other people can find it. Yeah, it's been very fun. What do you guys think? Ooh. Awesome, good stuff. So yeah, tiny houses, they're very interesting. I still like them a lot, but looking at the trend that younger people, including me, want to move to cities, it doesn't make sense to build tiny houses. Like, what I noticed is that a lot of tiny house fans, or a lot of people that were interested in tiny houses or living in a tiny house, were doing it to or move to nature or just escape society, which is totally fine. Like, I'm not judging them for that. That's awesome that they want to do that, and they should do that. But there are a lot more people that want to move to cities and want to be a part of society, but just don't have the means to pay for that. Like we said before, in New York, you pay easily $2,500 for a one-bedroom apartment, which is just crazy. So people started looking at alternatives, and then there are two ways to do that. It's or living smaller, and in New York that can be really bad. It can be, yeah, very, very gross. And then the second one is sharing space. So that's the space I'm staying here at. It's outpost-club. I linked the website already in the comments, so you can check it out. And yeah, I've been really enjoying it. Again, if you have any questions, I would like to answer them. And otherwise, I'm gonna wrap up this stream pretty soon. This is your chance to ask me tiny house questions. I've been doing it for you. Just gonna give you a little time. Yeah, and if not, if you want to see more tiny houses, go to the, I just noticed that I wrote the link wrong. So to go to the Tiny House Belgium website or their Facebook page, there's a little more going on there. And same for Outpost Club, it's outpost-club.com if you want to check out pictures of the spaces here. And I think I'm going to leave you guys there. So thanks a lot for watching the stream. If you want to review it, it's always on my Facebook page. If you have any more questions, please leave them in the comments. We'll make sure to answer them even after this live stream is ended. And yeah, thank you guys for hanging out, and see you guys later. Bye.